I'm in Kansas City. Like Jeff said, I live in a suburb called Liberty. Actually, the second oldest incorporated town west of the Mississippi River. Did you know that? We're known for Jesse James. He robbed the first bank during daylight here. Is that something to be known for? I don't know, but that's what they say anyway. But I'm glad you guys are here. We're talking about listings today. I'm really passionate about listings. Like Jeff said, I started in real estate when I was 19. That was 14 years ago. I was an agent for 9 years. My career in real estate has gone kind of a weird path. I was lucky enough to become a managing broker at a kind of a traditional brokerage firm here in the metro. Uh, Grew that. When I think of being a managing broker, I think of attracting and retaining and training. And I found this skill in myself, my ability to take what I think are sometimes mundane topics and make them pretty entertaining. So that's what I'm going to do for us today. Not mundane, listings are not mundane, but sometimes we get caught in the motion. Yeah, do you ever feel that way? That's why I feel like I came up with kind of a fresh presentation of ways that we can win more listings this spring. I had a great opportunity to become that brokerage's education director about a year and a half ago. I said, what's next? We had new ownership of the brokerage. That's when I joined us at EXP. So how about that? So I may not be part of the Freedom Team, but today I feel like I am. And by the way, when you go to that gas station barbecue in Kansas City, they scream at you. Have you ever done that? Like if you come to Kansas City and you go there, don't expect customer service, okay? But just expect good barbecue. But today we're going to talk about listings. I don't know. You guys have been around the block a time or two, don't you think? Or maybe some of you are newer on the call. You're getting the hang of working more listings. Listings are king, aren't they? It's like it's a more productive use of your time, yeah? So I've been teaching agents this spring ways that we can win more listings, we can get in front of more sellers, we can convert those sellers and basically get more billboards and yards because every time you have a listing, that's what that is. You get the opportunity to have this billboard right in the front yard. So I want to show you today a few things that you can actually leave with and go implement like from EXP's world. So you're one of us, great, or maybe you're thinking about being one of us. I want to show you some tools that you can use, especially in Canva. Does that sound like a thrill to you? You're like, oh boy, here we go, Canva. Well, you're going to enjoy it, I promise. There's some ways that EXP's made your life so easy. But I got so passionate about this topic because 10 years ago I lost a listing. Has that ever happened to you? Where you thought you were good for it, like you thought you were going to win the listing, and then they chose another agent. Has that happened to anybody? You're just staring at me, but maybe it has. Yeah, okay, Melissa, I see you. Jeremy, painful, right? Like it still sticks with you. Here's the thing, the listing I lost 10 years ago, I have to drive by anywhere I go in town. So it's like a reminder of how much I sucked back then, you know? So like every day I drive past, I can't go to Aldi without driving past this house that I lost the listing of 10 years ago. And I'll tell you why. I was friends with these people, for one thing, that I interviewed with. And isn't that the case? Like a lot of times we are friends, sometimes even family with these people that we're interviewing with. And you know what I did? I took for granted that I was going to get that listing. I went in, I talked about family, I talked about life. I'm ready when you are. Do you ever do that with sellers? Do you ever just shoot the breeze instead of talking business and just feel like, okay, I got this lead. Here's the thing, the people that we work with the most are the ones that we know the most. So we have to treat them with a level of professionalism. So the spouse knew somebody from work. Isn't it always the spouse's fault? That's like my life story, I feel like. But isn't it always the spouse? So she knew somebody from work. They interviewed that agent. That agent pulled out all the stops. They talked about what their presentation, they talked about their communication, their photography. Hey, newsflash, they and I used the same photographer. So we were going to do the same job. But it was top of mind for them because that agent talked about it. Meanwhile, for me, it was out of sight, out of mind. So my lesson out of today is helping all of us to present more consistently. That's going to be the key. And for some of us, that's like 101. We learned that at the beginning of our career, and maybe we're doing it every day, or maybe there's things that we can button up a little bit. That's hopefully my takeaway. But for some of you that are newer, maybe in the last 5 years in this business, it's changes. It changes so quickly. But one thing that can be the same is the way you present to sellers. So I'm going to show you how to leave with an incredible listing presentation that's already done for you. How about that? And secondly, I'm going to give you my top three reasons or things that you can do to level up your seller game this year. Are you with me? Does that sound like a good plan? And here's something that maybe could inspire you. 89% of sellers only interview one agent. That's the National Association of Realtor stat. So if you get the interview, if 89% of sellers only interview one agent, just getting the interview means that you pretty well got the business, yeah? So if we could even level that up with a better presentation or with a more consistent way of presenting it, then I think we'd all be better served. So that's my, I guess, 10-minute build up for what we're talking about today. Does that excite you? I hope so. All right, you guys are good. I'm going to share my screen, and this is just like a fireside chat today. I don't have this incredible slide deck. I'm just going to show you real life things that I would do if I were you. And by the way, I'm really good at living people's lives for them. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I think we should be doing if you want to get more listings this year. So if you're one of us in the EXP world, well, awesome, great. And if you're thinking about it, well, today you're going to get kind of a behind the scenes tour of things that you have access to. And I'm not going to harp on the brand, I'm not going to harp on the company a whole lot. But I will tell you, because I spent 13 years at another company, EXP blows us out of the water, blows the competition out of the water. There's a lot of talk, especially in our world, this last couple of days about, ooh, this tech company, that. Okay, let me just tell you, the stuff that we have access to is like mind blowing. And that's me coming from the education world in real estate. We have access to some incredible things. So I guess I am going to harp on it, even though I said I wasn't. Here I am on EXP's Okta. You've been there before. Sometimes not, though, and I respect that. But it would be a good idea to bookmark the thing, okay? You can go to exprealty.okta.com. That is a password keeper for everything you need. And by the way, throw something in the chat today, will you? Interact with me, unmute yourself, interrupt me. I don't care. But I'm going to really just go to a couple of different places. The first thing I want to show you related to sellers is the EXP Toolkit button. And when I'm teaching on Okta, for one thing, I want you to know that your tiles might be arranged differently than mine. I think just based on when they assign you your Okta, they kind of move around. You can drag and drop them if you ever wanted to rearrange them, but I'm going to click on this button called Toolkits. You can also go up into the top and search for what you're looking for. And so if I wanted to search for toolkits, I could do that too. That would help me find the same thing. This toolkit page is like a knowledge base for anything you'd want to know about the company or the brand or the tools that you have access to. So if you have not been to this toolkit page, that's not one of my three tips, but it should be because it's like a game changer of you better understanding what you have available to you. And for some of us, this is like, way basic stuff. You've done this before, but that's okay. The person next to you may not feel that way. So be patient. We're going to get to some good stuff here soon. So when I scroll down and I look at Canva, that's the one that I want to go to first of all. And maybe you've never used Canva before. Like, what is Canva? Do I have to go buy a big canvas and start painting on it? Well, it's a digital design tool. So we've used it before, maybe. We were really the first big brokerage to roll out a partnership with Canva. That's kind of cool. Now, like everybody and their mother has this partnership with Canva and gives that out to agents. But we have a unique partnership with them. And maybe you just saw a couple weeks ago, Chief Marketing Officer Wendy Forsyth, she sent out an email about some recent updates about the Canva partnership, even some new AI tools that are linked into Canva. So just staying up to date on these things. I know my schedule. I can't imagine yours as well. It's hard to stay up on the leading edge of this stuff, but you do owe it to yourself to stay up to date on these things. That's why I'm showing you some of it today. On the Canva toolkit, it shows you how to get started. So today is not really a basic level tech tool, tech class and getting you up and running on these things. But I at least wanted to show you how to find this toolkit because it just was updated a couple of weeks ago. So if you scroll down to this page that says see the latest launches, on April 16th, they added this AI platform to it. And so I don't know about you, but I feel like, man, I'm sometimes two steps behind on some of these things. So today I want to keep you on the cutting edge. You can find some of the ways that you can use AI. But maybe you're brand new to using Canva. Well, here's something great. EXP gives you a pro version of Canva included in your cloud brokerage fee. And so there's no extra cost for you. That means you get all of the templates. That means you get all of the image library. And the templates are what I'm going to show you today. I want to show you how you can use EXP's Canva template library to come up with a listing presentation that maybe is better than what you're using now. So when I left that listing appointment 10 years ago, I don't know that I realized it until recently, but I reminded myself, you know what? I should have presented to that person the same way that I would have anybody. I should have had a better presentation to win that business because I had what that other agent had. I just didn't talk about it. So a presentation like the one I'm going to show you today is not meant to be a script. It's not meant to be read word for word. Now we've had some clients that like read every word on our contracts. Yeah, you got a few of those right now. But this presentation that I'm going to show you is meant to be like a template, a guide to the conversation. And it's also not even the words on the page that matter. It's the fact that you're presenting it to begin with, which raises your level of professionalism. So I'm just saying, like by sending this stuff even to your client ahead of time, it's a way to level up your presentation skills and win more listings. That's what it's all about. So that's what I want to go into a little bit deeper. I showed you that Canva toolkit. Let me show you now back on my EXP Okta. I'm going to click into Canva directly. I just want to give you like a quick start guide on how to use some of these things maybe you never have before. If you click on Canva from your Okta, that is what takes you into your EXP paid version of Canva. Okay, that's how you get into it. Some of us, like me, I have my own personal Canva account. I've used it for years. I've created presentations. I've created other, I don't know, mailers. I have a lot of mailers. I have a lot of social media templates, all that stuff that I've used Canva for over the years, even before I was with EXP. So using this now with the paid version that the EXP gives you would be a great start, by the way. I can go down, first of all, into my little picture down here. If you have your picture, it might have pulled over from your EXP account. And if I click on that in the bottom left down here, I can verify that I'm looking at the right account. And then you'll see my other account if I've linked them in. If I don't see all of my Canva accounts that I've used, I can click this add another account button. That would be helpful because that way I can toggle between the two pretty easily. Some agents have chosen to get rid of their personal paid account. Like I'm still paying, I don't know, 12 or 13 bucks, I think, a month to have my personal paid account. Why? Why am I doing that? Maybe I could go to the version that EXP gives you. But my point is just to show you that you're inside the EXP account now. One of the first things I'd recommend doing before we even get into the designs is to click onto our brand over on the left side. There's a brand button. And if you click on brand, it lets you, for one thing, look at the EXP brand. Why would that be helpful? Well, because it shows you all the logos and the colors and the fonts and everything that EXP has paid big bucks to come up with a brand ID guide. And so that's one way that I can find it. Actually, one of those toolkits on that toolkit page from Okta was a brand ID guide. So if you wanted to learn more about the fonts and the voice of the EXP brand, and I want to be respectful, but I also want to tell you if you're using orange in your EXP logo, you're outdated. They've updated their branding. So what I would just challenge us is to always keep our marketing. That's you can make your marketing whatever you want. You're a real estate agent, isn't that beautiful? But staying up to date on the things that have changed as the brand would be helpful as well. Now, I'm really showing you this because when I click on brand on the left-hand side, and then I click this little drop down, one of the things I can do is create a personal brand kit. Why would I do that? Because I can upload my own logo and my own headshot and just things that are about me that make making my designs easier in the future. I don't have to upload my logo every single time. Instead, it's part of my brand kit. Am I making sense? So I could go in and name that, save that. That's kind of a lesson for a different day, but I just wanted to show you how to do that. Every person at EXP gets one brand kit. That's their agreement that they have with Canva. So you might as well use it if you want to. There's no reason for you to upload the EXP logo again because it's already part of their brand kit. But maybe I have a team logo, like I do. Okay, well, I want to upload my team logo so then I can easily plop that on my designs when I'm making things in the future. So I got to that by clicking brand. I clicked this drop down and I clicked on create a personal brand kit. I name it whatever I want, and then I can upload the logos. Now there's other options here. There's no reason for me to update my colors or any of that if I'm just going to use the stock colors that EXP gives me. It's already part of their brand kit. Cool, we're cooking now. I want to show you how to make a kick butt listing presentation with the EXP template. Can I do that? Is that helpful to you? Does that inspire you, Tim and Kyle and Jim? Okay, and Tracy. Yeah, all right. Boss moves Tracy. All right, we're going to do this. Here we go. On the left-hand side, where would I go to find all of the EXP templates? Somebody unmute and tell me where you would go. It's not what you would think. That's why it's a trick question.
You said the EXP templates?
Yeah, where would I go to click that here on the left-hand menu?
I mean, you would think under brand or either that little folder that says EXP Realty Brands.
I think
Okay, well, no, that's true too.
brand.
Yeah, that's kind of a hidden little place. Before you ever click into it, You got to really first click on projects. And that's why I did this little
Okay.
exercise so we remember that, okay? Because you would think, like Tracy and I were on the right track here, we were thinking, oh, let's click on templates. I don't know why. It's not in there, but it's not. So when you click on templates, you'll find all of Canva's templates. So it's kind of counterintuitive for what we're going for. Instead, we want to click on projects. Okay, so that's what I want to show you. I click on projects, and then look, it's going to show me all my recents. Maybe you don't have any of those, but that's when I get to these folders. So like Tracy called out this eXp Realty brand template folder, and it has a little red pin. That's how we would know that we're looking for the right one. Now, what I would probably do is put a star in it. That's why it ended up Tracy over here on the left-hand side. It won't do that to begin with, so you'll have to click on projects first, not templates. What word is it? Projects. And then you can get over here to eXp Realty, click on the one with the red pin. Maybe you've done it before, but some of the other people have not, okay? I'm just telling you, it's not easy. It's not a easy thing to do to be like, where do I go to find this? It would be different if I were in charge, but I guess we're not, so that's okay. Once I clicked on that, look at all the different options that I have. Now today, we're going to go into buyer seller presentations. There's a whole folder for that. There's a great buyer presentation. I would certainly work on that after I've mastered my listing presentation. But then I can click on seller presentations, and there's quite a few in here. I'm going to tell you my favorite. You can go in and scroll through the ones that you like. But each one of these is a template that then you're able to customize in a matter of minutes. That's the idea. So my goal for you and I would be by the end of today to have an updated listing presentation. I think we could do it. Maybe you already have one. Maybe you can take some of these pages that are in the Canva version and throw it into yours, or maybe it's time to button up what you're already using and use EXP's version. I'm going to show you what it looks like here in a second. Now, there's some versions that are horizontal. Those would be great if you're presenting on like a tablet or maybe a laptop while you're actually out at the house. That would be fine to use. So if I hovered over it, it lets you scroll through. And you're thinking 83 pages? Good gracious, who wants that? Well, let me tell you, nobody wants an 83-page listing presentation, okay? Don't do that. It's because there's a lot of template guides in this presentation. So really what 83 pages is probably 20 or 30. That's probably a better length for a listing book. But why would I have a presentation to begin with? Well, first of all, I'm going to use it probably to send to my clients while I'm there at the house with them and show it to them and present and use it as a guide to the conversation. But number two, I also maybe want to consider sending it to them ahead of time. That could be a concept as well. So there's several options in here. I think the one that doesn't say detailed is the one that I prefer. So I'm going to find 8.5 by 11. On my page, it's the fourth one down, so it's on the second row. That's just the one that I personally like. The beautiful thing about real estate is you can take my opinion and throw it out the window and come up with your own. Go for it. But if I click on this 8.5 by 11, the next step is to click Use this brand template. And maybe you've done this before, but look, I'm going to show you in just a couple of minutes how to customize this presentation so you have it ready. And then I also want to show you a newer feature in Canva where you can pull in listing details from the MLS. And that might be interesting if you're making a flyer or social post. Here's the thing, I have this template and it's got a lot of templated pictures ready for me to put my image into it. The first page on this template is just kind of a directions of what to do. There's a little trash can up here, and if I wanted to delete that page, I could just click that and get rid of it. And so now I'm ready to go. When I teach agents, I teach them to speak the language that clients use, and I would tell you that an average client doesn't call what we do a listing presentation. We need to be careful about the language and that we're not speaking a lot of shop talk with them. So they don't really know the acronyms or the things that we do behind the scenes. And instead we want to speak in words that make sense to the average consumer, not to dumb it down, not to be condescending, but to make it make sense to somebody who doesn't do this full time like you and I. And so I could go in and I could change the name to Selling Your Home. Maybe that's the name of my listing presentation. That's pretty easy. I'd be able to like plop my contact information in here down at the bottom. I mean, you could do that stuff, right? Like that's just changing text boxes. Let me go down here and just zoom in just a little bit so you can see how easy it is to edit just these little text boxes. I just click on them. In the state that I'm in, license number is not required. Maybe it is in the state that you're in. If so, you'd want to be respectful of that. In the state that I'm in, I require an office phone number if I have my cell phone number listed on my marketing. And so maybe in place of license number, I'd put the office number. You just want to be compliant with your marketing. Always check with your team leader or your managing broker to make sure you're compliant. Because your clients don't get MLS or real estate commission fines or complaints. You do, baby, so make sure your marketing is compliant. How about that? I want to show you, though, over here on the left-hand side. I'm ready. That doesn't look like me, does it? I hope not. I hope you don't think so. So I'm going to put my picture in. On the left-hand side, there's an Uploads button. And over time, I've uploaded my headshot picture. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to find that. There's a couple of other stock images or like my agent Melissa that's on my team. So I have many different images that I've uploaded into Canva, but one of them is my headshot. So if I wanted to drag this over into the design, oof, that's big. I probably wouldn't want it that big, but you'll see that it's going to remove the background there pretty quickly. If I then click on it, I can resize the picture because I don't know who needs a picture that big, but I'll just put that right down in the photo or right down in the bottom. Some of us like our picture on stuff. Some of us don't. If not, I can just delete it. But hey, see how easy that was to customize the start of my presentation? As I scroll through, there's other pages to update, like my resume. So here's another plus spot to drag my photo over and plop that into place. And like, ooh, there it is, big again. I don't like that. But maybe I'll make this one like peeking around the corner. What do you think? It's suspiciously looking at you. But obviously you'd want to go through and update the times. That's not what today's class is. You know how to do those things. And if not, there's classes for that. Yeah. Look at the EXP toolkit to start with to go deeper into customizing your things in here. Maybe you think, okay, Patrick, some of this stuff doesn't speak to me. Like I'm newer. I don't really have any testimonials to plop in here. Well, think outside the box for one thing is what I would challenge you to do. Maybe by getting testimonials of your character. That's something that you could plop into a presentation. Or maybe your picture and your testimonials are from 15 years ago. Maybe it's time for a refresh. Maybe a class like this inspires you to do that so you can be, I don't know, on the leading edge. I joke with agents sometimes. I teach a lot of like code of ethics and fair housing. I teach continuing education classes, and we joke about how we never want to be a has-been agent. Yeah, have you ever, when you think of your marketplace, can you think of an agent that's kind of a has-been, respectfully? We don't want to tell it to their face. Maybe you do, but you know what I mean? Like you could think of somebody that's kind of a has-been. Yeah, well, that's not you and me. We need to be on the leading edge. That's what our clients expect out of us. And so we can do that by raising our level of professionalism. One of the ways is with a listing presentation like what I'm showing you today. But maybe at the end of the day, you're thinking, okay, I don't have anything for this page. Well, the good news is you can just go up and click that trash can and get rid of it. Or maybe you want to rearrange some of these pages. There's a little arrow key that's up and down. You can move the pages up and down in your presentation as you want. And that's great. Now, okay, we did that. Look, it's like it's long. You can go through here. Though there's only a few pages that need customizing, by the way. But if you have never seen this presentation, I challenge you to go look at it because it's like top of the top when it comes to listing presentations. And again, it's not meant to be word for word read to your clients, yeah? But instead, it's a guide to your conversation. So I hope that you utilize that. What do you do with it now? That's what I'm going to show you. So I just wanted to scroll through it to show you some of the options that are in there. Let me get rid of my image library over here and make this a little bigger. So we have it done. Let's say we spent, I don't know, 30 minutes or an hour customizing our presentation. Obviously, mine was not done completely, but I just wanted to get you started and show you how to do that. But maybe you are done with it now. The next thing is to probably download it so you can utilize it as a PDF on your computer, maybe even print it out and have it for your presentations. So the way that you would do that in your EXP Premium Canva that EXP or that they give you would be to go up into the top right and click on Share, which also feels kind of counterproductive sometimes. We're not sharing it with anybody, we're just trying to download it. But that's where the download button is hidden. So if I go up to Share, I can click Download now. And it defaults as an image, as a PNG image. That's kind of similar to a JPEG. You've heard that before. Probably what we want for today would be a PDF. You have two options, PDF standard or print. Print is going to be high quality. And if you're going to print it, that's fine. I'd say that standard probably will be fine for this type of presentation. It's not like we're printing a high quality magazine or something like that. PDF standard I choose also because the file size is smaller. So maybe it takes less space on your device, or it's easier, more importantly, it's easier to email as an attachment if I ever wanted to a client. So I'd probably choose standard, and then I just click download. If I wanted to narrow out the pages, I could do that too. So maybe I was like, oh man, I wasn't done with page 5. I'm just going to take that out for right now. I could do that, and I'll just download the whole thing now. I download it, and in a matter of seconds, it's going to download to my computer. You're going to see it pop up here, and then I have it ready to go. I probably ought to go in and update it occasionally. I probably shouldn't let a year go by without going and making sure that I'm using the most up-to-date EXP version, because they do have some like company statistics and stuff like that in there. I don't know. I just want to make sure I'm always using the most updated version. But here is the PDF. There I am peeking around the corner there. But you get the idea, yeah? Now, what would I do with this? Okay, well, I would print it out and I'd bring it to my presentation. And I'd probably have a really nice folder put together. That sounds kind of old school, Patrick. I'm only 33. What am I talking about? Well, here's the thing. Your clients have no idea how this process works. Have you ever heard Leo Pareja, the CEO of EXP? He uses a stat that says the average person sells a home 3 times in their life. So for you and I, this is like every day. Boom, boom, boom. We're doing this constantly. But for your clients, they're doing this very infrequently. That means we owe it to them the highest level of explanation of how this process goes. So I'd print this out, I'd bring it with me, and then, yeah, I'd do all the things I do on my listing appointment. I'd take my tour, I'd sit down at the dining room table, never the couch, because how would I present this on the couch? And then I would just give my pitch, and I would just use it, first of all, as a way to guide the conversation, answering their questions as we go, trying to be a better listener than I am a talker during a presentation. If I'm at the house for more than an hour and 10 minutes, it's probably taking me too long. I don't know. They probably are like, when's he going to leave? But if I'm there less than 45 minutes, it's probably like, they didn't like me. They're choosing another agent. I don't know. I'm superstitious. Those are the things I think. What about you? But if I use this presentation as a guide to conversation, it lets me never forget anything. Have you ever left an appointment and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to talk to them about how things work in Broker Bay or Supra or whatever scheduling system you use, showing time, whatever that might be. So, if you're forgetting something, well, then you're not giving your best level of professionalism. Yeah. So if you ever catch yourself like, oh man, I forgot to tell them about that, that's on you. It's time to level up your game if that's the case. Your clients are never born with the knowledge of how to do this business. Maybe they're born with it, maybe it's Maybelline, but it's never real estate, okay? They never know how this process works. So it's our job to explain it to them, even if they're our best friend or our brother or our cousin, it doesn't matter. We are the professional. You don't go to your dentist and just say, oh, I know this guy. He doesn't need to tell me how he's going to drill into my tooth and put a filling in. Well, no, you expect him to explain it and be professional and put gloves on and numb you up, whatever. Well, same thing. We are that level of professional as a doctor or an attorney or an accountant. That's us. And so hold yourself to that. Hold your head back with your shoulders back, your head held high. Anyway, another concept, and actually one of my tips, consider sending this to your client ahead of your appointment. That's one of the ideas that I've had a lot of success with. Sending your listing presentation, maybe even part of your CMA, your comparative market analysis, maybe not all of it, but send some of the stuff ahead of time to your client. Why? Well, because somebody will look at it. Not everybody, right? Like not every seller will go through that. And that's a good call out too. You can never take for granted that they're going to look at it. So don't show up to the house empty-handed when you get there. Make sure you've got a printed version of it too. Because you'd hate to sit there and say, oh, did you get a chance to look at what I sent you? And they're like, oh, no, I've been busy. And then you didn't come prepared. So it's just a value add. Even if they don't look at it, you know what it did? It sent your marketing to them. It showed that you were different than the other agent they might be interviewing. It set you apart. So sending this presentation ahead of time. Now I have the PDF. I could add it to an email. I could send it to them. I could even text a PDF from my file on my phone. I could send that to them via text message. Especially if you're using iMessage on an iPhone. I think an Android would do that too. If you're an Android person, that's okay, you weirdo. But no, I'm just kidding. But that's easy. You could send it to them ahead of time. Yeah. Now, another option, watch this. In Canva, you could go up to share and you could go down to this public view link. Have you ever seen that? If I click on the public view link, I have to click the purple button, create a public view. And once it does, I can make sure that it says view only for one thing, so nobody's able to edit it. And then I can just copy this link, which actually lets me edit the link name if I wanted to. And probably you're going to use this link. It's not like I'm creating one of these for every seller I'm going out to. It's probably just that I update this occasionally, a couple times a year, at least once a year. And then I would create a new public view link. I could even go out to like GoDaddy or Squarespace or wherever you buy your URLs, your domains, your vanity URLs. I could probably even go buy like sellingwithpatrick.com and forward that to this presentation. So maybe it becomes part of the process. Or maybe I'm going to start using AI and you use Lovable. Have you ever used Lovable to create like a landing page for something? I'm going to show you a Lovable site as we wrap up today that I've created that maybe inspires you to use some of that. And you could host this presentation on your Lovable website that then your sellers go to and read your testimonials and look at your presentation. And, I'm just maybe inspiring some ideas out of that. Maybe I'll have some Q&A for that towards the end. But anyway, my point is I have this link, okay? And let me just show you what it would look like to a consumer. I'm going to open up an incognito window that just shows you what another person would look like to them. I'm going to open this link that I copied and here it is. Here's our listing presentation. And this is what the consumer could see if you sent it to them via this Canva link. There I am, just peeking around that corner again. And if I send it to them on the phone, which by the way, it's always good to meet people in multiple ways of communicating. So I'd probably email it to them at the same time. I'd probably text it to them just because some people are that way. I don't know. And then I'm going to give it to them in person. I'll probably leave it with them. So that way I'm kind of meeting all people. My lesson here is if I send it on my phone, it opens up beautifully on a phone. It just lets them swipe through it as if it were like an ebook. So they could swipe through and see this presentation and boom. Don't you think that's a way to level up your selling? So my number one tip, I kind of glazed over it, was to level up the way you present to your sellers. Have an actual presentation. Gone are the days that we can be a great agent without a presentation. Our job is too many things. We are an agent, sure. We're a negotiator, a communicator, a photographer, a videographer. Do you ever feel like you're a counselor? So like all these different ors, that's us. And there's just too much for us to remember if we don't have it all fit into a presentation. And sometimes we're like a divorce mediator too, yeah? So like think of all the conflicts and personalities that we come across. Let me look at you face to face here. A lot of the things that we have issues with our clients are because we didn't tell them about it in the first place. The inspection process that they're confused or upset about, probably because I didn't do a good enough job explaining to them how that's going to go. So this presentation helps you remind it prevents amnesia later on. What do you think about that? Like using this as a tool is a way to just be better in our job. So thanks for looking at me. Was that awkward just to like look face to face with you? You did all right.
Can I throw out a couple things, Patrick?
I love it. Yeah, I'm going to catch
Just
up
real
on the
quick,
chat
because
while you
just a
do.
couple thoughts,
Definitely,
and
Jeff.
I love what you're doing. So one quick thing, and I do think it's important for people to hear, especially in this market. And, the last several years now, I think you have to have ways to make yourself stand out.
Hmm.
And don't assume just because they're your best friends from church or your next door neighbor that they're going to work with
Yeah.
you. Like, because everybody is interviewing. They're interviewing agents. They're talking to agents. And I mean, what a bummer when your next door neighbor puts a sign out there, for sale and it's not you and you thought it was going to be you. You just assumed it that, well, of course they're going to go with me. I got a listing several years ago. I got a listing. These people they'd been in my database for about 8 years. And it was not to get off topic, but it was the follow up. I just had really good follow up systems with people. And they called me up out of nowhere. I had to look them up in who are these people? And I basically had a drip campaign that was running just on its own. And when I met with them, they literally said, okay, our our best friend at church, whatever, like, he's a realtor. My next door neighbor's a realtor, but there's no way we couldn't go with you. Like, you've been sending us like information and stuff for 8 years now. We'd feel guilty if we didn't go with you. And I got the listing and they ended up buying. It was about $30,000 in commissions between the two deals, whatever. But again, I've always had a presentation on my laptop, a
Hmm.
PowerPoint. And this was years ago, back in like, I started in 2002. I mean, in 2003 and four, I had a PowerPoint presentation that had video and stats and charts and graphs and all this kind of stuff. And I was getting the listing, as a brand new agent, competing. Literally a couple times I competed against the number one agent in town, and they ended up hiring me. It was because I just had a way to make myself stand out. And so this
Hmm.
presentation is key. One quick thing about getting it out early. just as an idea, because I've done this too, is where I'll do a quick YouTube video and just make it private. Just do a quick like right here at my desk, and I'll do a quick like 3 minute video. Hey Patrick, thanks so much. It was great talking to you. I really look forward to meeting you and your wife on Friday at your house. I'll be there at 2 o'clock. Just real quick, down in the description below here is a link to my listing presentation. You can take a look at that before we meet. And also I've got a couple things down there as far as how to get your home ready for sales, anything you want to throw in there. And you just put a couple links down there in the description. It's a private video. Nobody else can watch it. But even that right there, with it just sets you apart from every other agent. And nobody else is doing that. If they are
Yeah.
interviewing 3 agents, you're the only one that did that. And I've had that before where I walk in the door and, hey, have you met the other 2 agents yet? No, we got your video and we just decided you're the one we want to work with. We actually canceled those other 2 appointments. I've had that happen multiple times,
Hmm.
stuff like
Mhm.
that. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's lots of ways to get something like this out ahead of time or give them
Mhm.
information ahead of time before you walk in the door.
Mhm.
That's just gonna, be that much, make you that much closer to getting the signed agreement when you get there.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
powerful. I like that idea. Throw it in the and use that Canva link that I just showed you
yeah,
guys. Yeah.
exactly. Put that
I want to
link in
show
your
you.
YouTube description. And again, it's just a private video. You can always tell too if they watched it. If they
Yeah.
haven't watched it the next day, a lot of times I'll text them, hey, just in case you missed it, I did send you an email yesterday with a
Hmm.
quick video to watch before we meet. Whatever. And you can see it's got one view or two views. It's like they're the only ones that have the link to that YouTube video because it's a private video.
When
So
you see it 8 times, 8 views, that means you're watching it too. So
yeah.
watch out. You know how many times you watch it yourself. No, I'm just kidding. You made me think of something too, Jeff. When you present to sellers, we have to remember not everybody is like us. Yeah. And maybe you've heard of like a disc personality assessment. Have you ever done one of those on yourself? That'd be great to just figure out the fact that, wait a minute, that seller has a spouse that's probably completely different than them. And then they probably have kids, and then they probably have, oh, their in-law has their opinion and say of where they're going to move. So we deal with so many personalities that understanding yours, but also understanding that not everybody's like you. So that's why in a presentation you want to have a little bit of art and you want to have a little bit of science. Those art and science people, where part of your presentation speaks to the numbers of the marketplace. And then another chunk of your presentation talks about marketing and how your home's going to show off so pretty in the MLS and all those things that we do. You want to be able to speak to both people because we're not all the same. And especially when you get to the presentation, never give more face time to one person than the other. Have you ever felt like, why is he looking at me? Why is he looking at me? And then later that you leave and they think you're trying to take them out on a date or something. So spend an equal eye opportunity, equal face time. I want to show you something else in Canva that you can do. We looked at our presentation. That's great. This is kind of aside from that, but it does relate to working with sellers. So I figured it'd be kind of interesting to share. I'm going to go back to my main page and I'm going to click back on projects. That's where I can find that EXP folder. Before I did that though, I want to show you how when I starred that EXP Realty templates, now it's showing up on the left-hand side here. So it's kind of a shortcut to get there. So once I've started, like I showed you to do earlier, it would show up in the right place. I want to go and maybe just make a flyer for a listing or maybe an open house that I have coming up. And I want to be able to pull in the details from the MLS into Canva without having to go download all the photos and all of that. Maybe you've seen that this is a connection through EXP's Canva. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do this and then I'm going to go back to listing presentations. But I want to go into listing materials. That's where I would find flyers. And here it is, flyers is the folder. And then let's just say I'm going to do an open house. So I'm going to click on open house flyers. Look at this. So in Canva, it's not just a presentation, it's flyers and like social media templates. And so maybe back in the day you were used to using the EXP Marketing Center. That's what we used before we switched over to Canva. Really, a little bit over a year ago is when they switched over. So all those templates are in here now and they've been updated. There's also like holiday posts ready to go that the marketing team has put in for every holiday of the season. So if you're ever looking for content to share on social, this would be a great place to check it out. But here I am on these flyers. Maybe I just like this one. I don't know why, but I'm just going to use this template. It's got multiple photos of the house. So now I'm going to use a tool that EXP gives us through Canva. One of the things is this listings app will pull up here. I don't know where it came from. It's a newer thing. It's a Canva driven EXP. It's not an EXP listings app. It's just a listings app that Canva has. What I want is to find the EXP listings app. Okay, does that confuse us enough? There's two listings apps in Canva. One of them's from EXP. One of them, I don't know, Canva must have come up with. I find that it doesn't work very well. I put in MLS numbers and addresses, and it just doesn't work. And I think what's happened, if I had to guess, I would say, okay, EXP and Canva had this relationship to begin with, and now every other company kind of has this relationship with Canva. And so Canva sees cha-ching, cha-ching dollar signs in the real estate field. And so they've gone out and created their own listings pulling app. I don't know. The one that works is the EXP version, and it only works for EXP listings. Okay, that's a good call out. The first time I use it, I need to find the apps button over here on the left-hand side, and I just need to go up and search on the top EXP. And when I do that, you'll see EXP listings. For some reason, it's all the way down as the third option. But if I click on EXP listings, here it is. I click on it the first time, and now it's going to show up as a quick option on the left-hand menu bar. But I'm going to put an MLS number. Anybody have an MLS number that's an EXP listing that you can give me? Maybe you'll just plop one in the chat while I'm talking. You've got an MLS number of any EXP listing, probably one that's active. That'd probably be a good idea just so we don't get into any rules with MLS that maybe makes it hidden. But let me know when you have an MLS number. Plop it in the chat. I know you're typing right now as I'm talking. The point of me doing this is it's going to pull the photos and the description and all of that into the flyer. And I'm just waiting on you to type in an MLS number for me. Somebody's got a listing that they can do that's active. If not, I'll go find me one. Thanks, Zach. Zachary. Here we go. All right, I'm going to copy this. And I'm just going to put this. That seems like a lucky listing. 7722424. Doesn't that just sound like it's going to sell already? All right, I'm going to click search and I'm going to hope that it's there because otherwise it's not going to work. But here it is. Look at this cool property. All right. So maybe I'm going to do an open house out at this ranch property. It's got a great barn. Looks like it could even be a barn dominium out there. But I'm going to pull this picture over and just click on it. Now, if I click on it, boom, it's going to take over my whole design. And that's not what I intended. Like it just plopped it in the middle. So if I accidentally did that, I could hit the trash can. But I'm going to click and drag it over to this part in the design. And the little sheep shows up. But then look, in just a matter of seconds, we have that photo. Okay, let me go find something else that's cool in this property. I don't know. Look at that. You can warm your toes while you're in this bathtub. All right, I'm going to plop this photo into place over here. Cool listing. And boom. Now see how easy that is? So like I didn't have to go download photos, especially if it's not my own listing. And I don't have to do all that. It's just right here in this EXP listings app. And then I can click on listing details on the top left over here. And here's the description. If you've been waiting for a Colorado Springs home, now look, I can drag this down into this text box of this flyer. I just drag it. That's a little long, so it's going to make it real small font. I would probably choose to cut it a little bit. I think that's a perfect description, by the way, for the MLS, but probably just not for the flyer, so I'd probably cut it down a little bit and put that in. That's fine. So here's the agent assets, and here's Carrie. If I was Carrie, I could plop my photo into place, and then I have a customized flyer. Isn't that pretty cool? Now, maybe I'm not the listing agent, so I want to click on this agents tab and put in my EXP Realty email, which maybe is the one you use every day. Maybe it's not, but you'll want to use your EXP email and find myself. And then I could drag my photo or maybe my name into this flyer or maybe my phone number. It's got that weird little +1, but maybe I would customize that a little bit. The point is, in just a matter of no time, I made a flyer. I didn't have to download anything. I didn't have to spend much more than 10 minutes on it. And what a great use of your time. So that's kind of a great added bonus to what we've been talking about today. Here's the thing, people. At the end of the day, I have three tips for you. For one thing, it's to be more consistent in the way you present. Yeah, can we be better at that? No matter who it is that we're going out to interview with, uh, treat them the same. Be more consistent, and it's going to earn your business. You're not going to lose that listing like I did 10 years ago because what I didn't present. Instead, it was out of sight, out of mind. And so instead, I'm going to be more consistent. Number two, I'm going to use a presentation to really guide the conversation. I'm going to do what I did today and customize my presentation in Canva. And then number three, I'm going to consider, or I'm going to, send it to the potential clients ahead of time. I'm going to send them as much as I want to. Doesn't have to be everything. It could be a tease of what I'm going to show them live in the moment the next day, but probably a day or two after or before, I'm sorry, the day or two before the presentation, I would send them those things electronically ahead of time. So That's what I wanted to show you today. I want to open up the floor for ideas or questions or maybe kind of a think share time. I also want to show you at the end, I've come up with a perfect listing presentation. I have a whole guide on that. I wanted to show you where you could find that. I want to show you, I promised you at the end, I would show you this presentation, this listing perfect presentation. It's a resource guide that I created. And when you go to this website, I just want you to think, okay, did Patrick make this website? Well, no, AI made it. Now, I made the presentation, I wrote a lot of the content in it, but the website that this takes you to, listings.hirecoachpat.com, is made by the AI tool called Lovable. It doesn't say Lovable anywhere on it. You would never know it. Your consumer or your competition would never know. But I'm telling you the secret because these are some of the things that you can do. So if you go to listings.hirecoachpat.com or you scan that QR code that's there on the screen now, it'll take you to a place where you can put in your information. I'll never drive you crazy. Listen, I'm a good guy to be friends with. And so connect with me. And there's also an opportunity to sign up for one of my daily real estate affirmations. I send that out every morning. You'd love to get that, wouldn't you? It's all about headspace. Being in real estate, it's a lonely business. And it's lonely to be at the top like a lot of us are. And so instead to have friends in our corner, like here we are with Freedom Team or with like you and I, what a great way to stay connected. I'd love to do that. So go to listings.hirecoachpat.com. What I do all the time is coach real estate agents just like you and me. I coach broker owners. I got a great group of broker owners that works with me as well. And coaching is accountability, sure. But you know what coaching is? It's to have a like-minded friend in the business who wants to do some of the same things that you've done. Now you get that with Freedom Team. So I'm not here with a sales pitch. But if I ever seem like that guy, we can take what you're doing already and help you go to the next level. I'd love that opportunity. And
Oh, 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 hey. Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills. Yeah, we're getting